G'day everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video and episode 1 of my build series for my 2026 Kawasaki KLX300. If you haven't, check out my first ride video on the KLX300 and also click that subscribe button. Alright, let's get into this build. On my first ride video, I talked about how the bike feels a bit corked up. There isn't much bottom end and torque on this bike, and it's just because the bike's pretty restricted in its stock form. Thankfully, there's a few easy things we can do to fix that up. The first thing is the secondary throttle plate. It really restricts the bike. I believe it gives you about 40% less airflow below 7,000 RPM, and it's very noticeable on the bike. It kind of goes like this, then it ramps up when you hit 7,000 when it opens up. Also, the pea shooter exhaust, we've got to get rid of that. It's literally like that much of a hole coming out, you know, your pinky size of an outlet. The header pipe actually looks pretty decent up to that point, so we're going to change that for a Yoshimura RS-2, and we're also going to pull out the snorkel from the Airbox. The previous owner has already done the pair valve delete on my KLX. Basically that means he's removed all the emissions gear on the bike and helps the bike run a little bit better, and also stops the pops and bangs on decel when you put on an aftermarket exhaust. The one he's put on is the Smart Moto. Seems like a nice bit of kit and a popular option for a lot of people online. Before we get stuck in, look at this Yoshimura exhaust. It is absolutely beautiful. This is the RS-2. It's super light. The build quality is amazing. It's got this weird little end cap on it which you can change, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. Really nice bit of kit. It comes with the spacer here and a couple of different bolts they can mount it with. Really looking forward to see the difference this makes. The stock bike sounds terrible. To get to the exhaust, we just have to take this side cover off, and that's the same for the secondary throttle plate. That's behind here as well. Couple of 8 mils. Come on, Curtis, get together. Who doesn't modify their brand new bikes? I don't want to know the person who doesn't. This thing, it's pretty corked up, guys. Like, it's a lot of fun. You can still do wheelies and second gear and clutch them up and stuff, but it is very corked up. Just two hands, this pops out. See, it pushes in to there. The pair valve is right in here, so we might try to do that first, because that's probably going to be the trickiest job today. The exhaust is like 2 bolts, and the snorkel will just rip out. I'm going to have to take off this brake reservoir as well. It's just 1 bolt, looks like a 10 mil. Let's see how good I am. Oh, pretty good, guys, pretty good. Tuck that out of the way. Like, there's something here that's, I don't know exactly what that is, but we'll put it back on and make sure we don't lose it. That bolt was just holding it on. So this here, we need to get this off, this boot. That's a Phillips head on this side. Longest thread of all time. Slide it to the side. And there's one on the other side that we're going to get to as well. You probably can't see it, but we're going to go all the way in there to get that other bolt out. It should be pretty easy to reach with the screwdriver. My screwdriver isn't long enough, so I'm taking this side panel off so I can reach it. If you've got a better screwdriver set than me, you won't have any issues. I'm going to take it off anyway to get the Airbox, so not a big deal. Nice plastics, very nice. Easy to work on. It helps if you got magnetized screwdriver, because it's in a really tricky spot and falls down just like that. Should be able to push this off somehow. Pull it off. Yeah, easy as that way. And that way. Okay, I can see that being really hard to get back on. I wonder if we can try face it the other way so it's like the same as the other one. So there is the culprit, everyone, the secondary throttle plate. And that's what we're taking out. You can see it's shut about 4/5. Then it opens up completely at 7,000 RPM. Now, I heard this is an absolute pain to get out. Well, it can be, because the bolt's easy to strip and it's just an incredibly awkward position. I made sure I shut the valve, or the plate, so nothing comes out. So I'm pushing there as hard as I can and twist. Far out, she's in there, everyone. Helps if you've got little tiny hands. Ah! I'm not sure if that budged. Nah, I reckon I got it, everyone. Gentle, gentle. Yeah, we got it. Just use a decent screwdriver, you'll probably strip it. Says to use one of the Japanese standard 2 ones, but this good screwdriver is doing the job just fine. Just put a bit of material there so we don't drop it all into the throttle body, because that would really suck, everyone. Ooh, that was nerve-wracking getting that sucker out. Hey, focus, focus. Anyway, that one there. Now let's get this plate out. Should just come out. There we go. That's it there. Thin piece of stainless or something by the looks of it. Gone. And if we look in there now, that's what we're left with. Ooh, keen to try this out. Now for the fun part, putting it back on. Hopefully it's not too hard. I mean, it's pretty easy to get off. Being all nice and new and malleable. Push that bit on from there. Push that bit through. Twist it around a bit. I think that'll be it. Might just take that off. Yeah, I can bend that back on. I saw someone do this online. They made it look so easy. This is the fiddliest part of the whole job, I reckon. Oh man, this is a pain in the butt. Hey, dickhead Curtis, handle them back to front. Let's try that again. Okay, I lined it up. Helps you put it on the right way, everyone. You just want to make sure that's really on properly, because if you don't, it's bypassing the airbox and sucking shit straight into your throttle bodies and engine, and that's never good, never good. Mate, I tell you what, the clamps for the airbox boot, what an absolute mission. If you haven't noticed, it's the next morning. I was doing it for like 2 hours. I just couldn't get it to work. Turns out one of them stripped. So my advice is do not take the clamps off. Just try and slide them in onto the boot and pull them out in one piece, and then put them back on in one piece and slide them across, because I just couldn't get them to work. I had to take them off, get the vise out. One of them was stripped. I had to re-thread it. Oh, absolute pain in the butt. I think it's just cheap clamps, and I must have got one just square, but it was really painful, so you have been warned. All right, on to the really simple things. I'm gonna take out the snorkel and change the exhaust. The snorkel, a really common mod is to put the KLX snorkel on, because it's not as restrictive. This one is incredibly restrictive. I'm just gonna pull it out. Apparently, it's about the same performance to pull it out, it just has a bit more noise. Wiggle it out. Right, that is incredibly restrictive. Look at this thing. That's the inlet there. It goes down into the airbox all the way down there. Wonder why it's restrictive and corked up. Man, don't need that thing. It will be a little bit louder, but we'll see how it is. I don't think it'll be an issue. It's still not a huge hole that's sucking in through. It's not sucking in pelicans, that's for sure. Man, there is a noticeable intake noise there now the snorkel's out. We'll see how it is when I'm riding. The exhaust is really simple. It's only 2 bolts and the O2 sensor. This one up here. This one down here as well, the clamp. That should slide off. Then we can get to the O2 sensor as well, try not to damage it. And now, the Yoshi. This O2 sensor in first. Nip it up just slightly, and I'll do it again when it's on. Okay, fits perfect. Goes on the outside, so make sure you do that. And it's got a spacer here as well that Yoshi have provided. This bolt here was a real mission to get square. Exhaust is on, let's put it back together and do a sound check. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there it is, everyone, the Yoshimura RS-2 all installed, and I have to say it looks absolutely fantastic. The build quality is amazing. Sure, it costs a little bit of money, but man, it is nice. Something worth noting is it is not going to melt the indicator. It's lower and out of the way. Well, it is with the tail tidy at least. And the note, it's got a nice bark to it, but it's not obnoxious. I don't like really loud bikes, so that's good. It's kind of reserved still, but definitely opens the bike up. Now the snorkel, we'll see how that is when I'm riding the bike. With the pipe on, I didn't really notice the sound too much, but when I had the stock exhaust on, it was definitely a noticeable, you know, the intake sound. Really keen to see what that secondary throttle plate does. Now it's out. By all accounts, makes a big difference. It's not going to be a powerhouse, but it should give me that bit more grunt in usable RPM. At the moment, you're going to rev it pretty high to get the power you want out of the bike. In terms of tuning, I'm going to leave the bike stock at the moment. It's very common to put an EJK engine tuner on the bike. I'm not going to do that because I want to see how it runs first. By all accounts, it should be completely fine. A couple of tuners had commented online who do dyno readings on the bike, and they said it's fine with the snorkel out and an opened up exhaust. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. I will be doing a follow-up video on how the bike runs once I've done all the other mods on the bike as well. We've got the engine protection on, handguards, and a few other things I want to put on the bike before we really get stuck in. All right, everyone, that is it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments down below. I have to say, that looks fantastic, and I'm keen to see how the bike runs. If you haven't, click that subscribe button. There's going to be more KLX content coming in the very near future. And keep it on the back wheel. Catch us.